There's a few new things on here. One for sure. So now, what they have added, hopefully we can see it. Let's see. Okay, down here at the bottom, where is it now? Right here. Okay, down here at the bottom, do you guys see this purple, like, help button here? Okay, so down here, this is where you can, instead of, if you have any questions, and I don't know how often you guys do that, but I do it quite a bit. If you have any questions within the program that maybe something's not working, or the video's not loading, or just something's going on with the program technically, then you guys can go down here, and instead of calling tech support, because a lot of times we just were able to call the tech support line and ask them the question and they would be able to help you. Well, instead of calling, you can actually chat with them now. So this is a new feature that they just added to this program. So you can call them here. It says call us, so you can still call them, or you can do a live chat or leave a message. And I don't know how often you guys do that. I guess for me it's going to be helpful just because I don't have to stay on the line, and sometimes you're holding for 10, 15 minutes before you get through to anybody. So this will be good to kind of get that immediate feedback. So I wanted to just kind of show that to you guys first right off the bat. And then they also do have, the help center up here and the video training library. You can contact Edgenuity up here and then chat with support here as well. So you can kind of do it either way you want there. Couple options for you. Okay. Another new thing that they said that at the end of the year last year said that they're going to roll out with a new student user face. So when a student logs in, it's going to look a little bit different than what it looks like now. They have not rolled out with that yet, and I'm not sure when that's going to happen. But I will let you guys know when that does happen, just so that you guys are aware that if a student contacts you and says, hey, this looks different, or where do I find this or that, you guys kind of know where to, or know what's going on. And one thing too, since we're kind of on this topic, when you're in Edgenuity, and let's say a student has a question about a content question, or a question that a lesson question, and you want to know exactly where they're at or what they're looking at or what the student is seeing, you can actually go in and impersonate the student, and you can go in as that student and see exactly what they're seeing and see where they're at in their course. And I don't know if some of you guys have done this before, but I have. Obviously, just to I get a lot of questions about maybe something's not working, or they can't get into this or that, so I like to kind of go in and see what they're seeing so I can help them a little bit better. But if you want to impersonate someone, a student, you just have to go in. So like, for example, this Camilla Anthony here, if you go over here to the right and click on this drop-down arrow, right here is impersonate. If you click on that, it's going to take you directly into the student's login, or the student's user face, or the home page. And so when you click on, so this is actually what the student is seeing. The courses are over here to the left. You click on this, it's going to bring up their progress, and then these buttons down here. And then I always just go to the course map. And then this is going to bring them to where the student is at currently in their course. So this student right now is currently on the warm-up. So you can always just click on this, and if they have a question of, about whatever they're seeing, you can go in here and kind of help them that way. And then make sure anytime you're done, you just click the impersonate session, and then that will take you back to your home page. Okay, let's go back in. Okay, And then just a few other things here on 2A that I want to go over, and I say this every time we have our meeting, but I just want to reiterate since this is the start of the new school year. Make sure that you're checking on your students daily or every other day. We do have a 24-hour policy where if a student emails you, you need to get back to them within that 24 hours. We don't want, emails sitting in your inbox for days and days and days without replying back to them. We have had districts call us and say, hey, we haven't heard from this teacher. So just make sure you're checking on them and checking your emails. Completions. Whenever you have a student that has completed or their 12-month mark is up, then please send me an email with the student name, the grade, and the course name, so then I can make sure I send that completion grade off to the district. I am in there all the time and I do see it, but if I get a confirmation from you, that lets me know the student is completely done, and I can send that grade off to the district. We don't want students with 100% done with their course and sitting in there and the district doesn't have their grade yet. So we want to make sure we stay on top of that. Turn vouchers in 25th of each month. You guys, some of you you send in as soon as the student completes, or you wait until the 25th of that month and send it in. That is fine. Either way is fine. And then you will get paid the following month once you turn those vouchers in. User groups. I want to go over this too. This is something that, okay, so when a student, when I put a student into Edgenuity, I usually am the one that will add that student to your user group. Okay, I will not ever take them out unless you email me and say, hey, can you take these students out or can you clean up my user group so I just have current students in there? I'd be glad to do that for you. But I just want to show you guys how to do this, so because you guys can do this on your own if you feel comfortable doing it. So that way it'll kind of save you from emailing me and me having to do it. I don't mind doing it, but just so you guys can kind of go in there and clean it up yourself. Whenever a student is done, you can take them out, and then that way they're not in there anymore. Because like I said, I don't take students out of your user groups at all. Okay, so I am gonna go in as one of you guys because I don't have a user group. I don't have a user group, so it's not gonna work if I use my page. So I'm just gonna go on, let's use you, Kate. I'm gonna go in as you. Okay, so if I go to manage user groups, this is where you can add a new group. So if Kate wants to add, like for example, she wants to go 2018, 2019 art students, she can do that and save it. And then she has 18, 19 art students, and then she knows that, or I know then, that I will just group the students to the 18, 19 art students group. And then she also has this Kate's art students, which is going to be all of her other students. So if she can delete this if she wants, obviously probably not now because you have students in there. But in the future, like if you want to kind of make, separate it and make your own user group, you can do that. Because some teachers do like 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. You can split it up however you want. And like some teachers teach English, teach social studies. Like John Foberg, he teaches English and social studies. So if he wants to go John's English students or John's social studies students, you can kind of break it up, and then I will just group to that specific user group. Does that make sense to you guys? So you can go in here and kind of customize these user groups to however you want. And then when I go in and add them, I'll know where to add them to, depending on what courses you teach or what year it is or whatever you put there. Okay? And I know, Sarah, you've done that, right? With your French? I know you have a couple different user groups, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I guess I haven't used the different ones this year, but I did in the past.
Yeah, because I know like Roxanne Dyke, she kind of has some, she just put her years, whatever year we're in, and then that's the user group that you group to.
I think I had mine separated into like French 1 and French 2.
Yeah, you could do that too if you wanted to, but that's totally up to you. Whatever's easiest for you. I just wanted to let you know that you can kind of play around with that on your own and add user groups if you want. Okay? Okay. Oh, that's not the one. This one. I'll delete that out of there for you. Okay, and then, so this is how you are going to, this is how you're going to select my account. Okay, let's go back to the home. I'll show you how to add and remove students from your user groups. So if I go to manage students, and then down here it says all groups. Click on this drop down arrow and it's going to say Kate's art students. This is just going to pull up all of Kate's students that she has on the dial side. Okay, so if I want to remove a student, okay, I'm going to click on this square next to the student's name, and then this remove from group is going to pop up, and then you're going to click on that, and then that will take that student completely out. So if there's any time that you want to go in and pull up your user group and take students out, this is how you would do it. Okay? All right, if you want to, I want to get back to manage. I wonder why it's not. Oh, here we go. Go all groups. If you want to add, like say sometimes I forget to add a student to your group. I mean, obviously when we get a bunch of registrations coming in and I'm sending all kinds of emails, sometimes I'll forget to do that. Send me an email and I will be glad to add them to you because it's very fast. It doesn't take any time at all. But if you want to do it yourself, you totally can. If I go to, let's go back to manage students. So if I go to manage students, I click on, okay, all groups. Okay, H. Why isn't it all groups? All. It's not pulling up the other kids. What do I got to do here? Okay. Manage students.
That looks like about all my kids in.
Yeah, but I want to get just to where you see all the kids. Now, what am I doing here?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? I want to go to the
Yeah. Oh, you're just showing 50 items per page. Could that be it? Or 5 items per page or something at the bottom? At the bottom, oh, 50 items per page. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Here, I'll go to mine. I think I can go to mine. I'll go back to mine. I think I can show you through mine. Sorry about that. I don't know why I wasn't showing all the students because I did before. Okay, so if I'm back in mine, my home page here. Okay, if I go to manage students and I want to add a student to my group, I'm going to click on this little button again to the left, and then this little box here will pop up and it says add to groups. Click on that drop down arrow and click on your user group you want to add it to, and then you're going to click the plus button, and then you'll see this down here says the user has been added to group, so that means it's been successful. So that's how you add a student to your group, and then you also can remove it. And if that's confusing to you, not a problem. Just email me and I will take care of it. Okay, let's move on. Re-enrolls. All right, so I know you're probably getting a lot of emails that say OLC re-enroll. How you handle this, and all of you guys are doing it right, but I just want to make sure everybody knows and everybody's on the same page. So a re-enroll is if a student was in a course, let's say for example, an English course, English 1 S1 in 17-18. So 17-18 last school year. And OLC then is going to re-enroll that student in the same course for 18-19. So what you can do then is if a student has done some work in the 17-18 course, you can submit payment for that, and then you will still have that student in the same course for 18-19. Does that make sense to everybody for re-enrolls? And a lot of times I will put on that email if the student has done work in the previous course in 17-18 or didn't do any work. Normally I do try to put that on there for you guys, so then you guys don't have to go and look. And you just know from that email, okay, they did some work, I can put them on my voucher and submit payment for them. Does anybody have any questions about those re-enrolls? And sometimes with those re-enrolls, they do, a lot of times they'll just start over in the same course, but there are times where they will re-enroll and I'll transfer their progress from where they left off. So, because OLC's policy is if they're 50% completed with a 60% overall grade, then they transfer that progress over to the next year, is how that works, okay? So I just want to make sure you guys know as far as submitting payment that you can. So I had a lot of emails when I was sending those students to you guys. I had a lot of emails. Well, can I submit payment for this student? Yes, if they have done some work. And when I say some work, it can be 0.1% work. You can submit payment for that student. Okay, if they did one assignment, you can submit payment. Okay, just want to make sure that's clear. We did talk about impersonate. I talked about the new student login page. Chat manager, I did talk about this a little bit. That is an Edgenuity. I don't know how, I don't think this is very useful as far as how we are set up, because a lot of you guys work during the day, so it's not easy for you guys to go on and use chat manager. But if you do want to, you do have to have it open on your screen, on your computer, and then the student has to have it open on theirs in order for you guys to chat back and forth. So you just go underneath communication, go to open chat manager, the little box will pull up, and then you can select a user, and then you can request a chat. But you both have to have it open in order for it to work. But I just wanted to kind of go over that a little bit with you, if at all in the future you want to use it. Or you can tell your students to use it as well, if that is a good option for you guys. Okay, go back. And then I did talk about the chat with tech support, so we kind of went over all of that. Do you guys have any questions about what we just went over? Anything else within Edgenuity? There isn't a whole lot of new stuff. The only other new stuff was the chat, the live chat button, and then the new student user face. When the students log in will be new eventually. Okay, 2B, we kind of did go over this already. If a student does some work in the course, you will get paid unless they drop within that 2-week drop period. So just like I said before, they do 0.1%, you'll get paid. But if they drop, say they enroll today and they drop within that 2 weeks from today, then you won't get paid for that student even if they did do some work, okay? Because they were within that drop period. So we wouldn't be able to charge for the course. So just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. 2C, please submit payment for students within the registration years. And right now we're currently in 18 year, but 17-18 and 18-19 as well. So if you see a student that maybe you didn't get paid for in the registration year of 16-17, well, don't submit payment for that student because that registration year has closed and we're no longer accepting payments for those. So we only can pay for students that have been registered in 17-18 and 18-19. So just make sure you're getting those your vouchers in a timely manner. We really appreciate that. 2D, the core board meetings. I know we had some questions on this as far as when you guys will get paid. Those meetings are the first Thursday after the first full week. So if you submit your voucher on the 25th, you should get paid the following month around the 10th. Is kind of how that works. I know in the summertime there was a few dates that got changed due to conflicts, and so it got pushed back a little bit. But during the school year, I don't see any big changes with that. So that should be about when you guys will get paid, is around the 10th. And then we do still have our Dial Virtual School website. You guys all know that on dialsd.net. So anytime you need some information or direct people there, that's our web address. And then our staff meeting dates for the other meetings, we're going to go every other month. So those will be our dates. And then in May, we'll do another live meeting at the end of the year. And then you guys all know that Sarah is still providing professional development for us. She's still doing a book study. So if you guys are interested in that, you can contact her and she'll give you some more information. And that is all I have. Do you guys have any questions about anything that's going on with your students? Any emails from students concerning or anything within Edgenuity you have questions about? Oh, there was something else I was gonna. Oh, another thing I wanted to go over was real quick. Right now, on the OLC side, there's a lot of students that are coming up on their 12-month end date that they've been in their course for 12 months. So you guys can submit payment for those now if they have done some work in their course. If they didn't do any work, then we won't pay you, or we can't pay you. But so you'll have to kind of go in and kind of check your user groups, check the dashboard, and kind of see what students you have and see where they're at as far as progress goes. But as I'm going through here, every day I look and see, okay, if a student is past their 12 months. Once they are, especially on the OLC side, I will go in and I will disable, or I will deactivate or disable that course, as well as archive the student. So if you're in here and on your spreadsheet you see a student on your spreadsheet, that 12-month mark is up and they're not in, you don't see them in Edgenuity. How you can find them is this way. You can go to Manage Enrollments. Then you can filter it by course. So you want to click on Disabled because I'll always archive them if they're not in any current courses. So you want to go to Disabled tab. Internet's really slow today. And then you're going to filter it. You want to go to OLC for the school. And then if you have a subject, let's say language arts, you're going to apply those filters. And then you should be able to see all of the disabled students in all the English courses and their progress. So there's another way to find your students. So you'll see course name, their progress here, their overall grade, the date they were enrolled, their last gradebook entry, the date that they were disabled. So you get a lot of information. So if you're ever needing to find someone and you can't find them, they're probably, more than likely, they're in, I archived them. So they're gonna be under the disabled tab. You can also do that for completed and for active as well, if you guys are ever looking to find a student. Or you know, you wanna kind of pull up this okay? Does that make sense as far as the finding the students? If you can't find them if you can't find them under the dashboard or in your user group, they're most likely going to be here. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anything they want to share or add with the new school year coming up? Or actually started, I should say. Okay, one other thing I do want to talk about are IEPs. I know we have, especially on the OLC side and on the Dial side, that have enrolled and are on IEPs. Normally what happens is if a student's on an IEP, I will request the IEP from the district. They'll send that to me, and then I will send that off to you as the teacher. And then you can look that over and see what modifications they need. But as far as what we can do on our end is we can go in and customize a course and modify it if we need to for that student. That means as far as we need to take things out we can do that. If we need to add your own stuff in there, we can do that too. But obviously we can only do so much on our end because we're not with that student, but we do have options. And also you can, if it comes down to it, which we haven't had any of this yet, as far as I know, with students and IEPs, but you know, if we need to do a Skype or a Zoom meeting, or something with that teacher and with the student, I mean, that's an option too. So just kind of wanted to put that out there that we're getting more and more of them enrolled with IEPs. So that's kind of what we're looking at, how we're going to handle those. If OLC requests to do a Skype with the teacher and the student, you know, then we'll set something up, as well as the other dial students too. So, but you as teachers, you know, you guys work with students that are on IEP. So if you guys have any suggestions at all for me, how to handle those, that would be great too. Because I know a lot of times they'll finish the course, but they don't have a passing grade. So we want to try to help them and make them as successful as we can. But obviously there's only so much that we can do. But any suggestions from you guys on a student by student basis would be very helpful with students on IEPs. But right now, that's kind of how we'll do it. They'll send me the IEP, I'll send it to you guys. You guys can look it over, and then we'll kind of go from there. And if a district or teacher requests to have a Skype meeting, then we can set that up as well. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for staying on with me. Kind of going past our time and started a little late. I apologize for that, but we'll see you in a couple months.
Thanks, Casey.
See you guys.